Well, hello and welcome back to another in the series of SAT Math Prep videos. This is number 7 in the no calculator type questions. You know, the SAT has two math tests, one that's a shorter one for no calculator, and the longer one is with a calculator. So when you're looking through this video, you're watching this video, pause the video before you try a problem and then go back and see if you got the right answer. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the grid N response questions as opposed to the multiple choice. The grid N, and you probably already know this, but whenever you're entering a fraction, you have to enter the slash in one of the boxes and then bubble in the slash bubble. For decimals, you have to write in the dot and then bubble in the decimal bubble. For answers that don't fill up all the boxes, for example, the number 100, it doesn't matter where you start writing. You could start in the second box and write 100, or start in the first box, as long as those numbers are all together. Either position is acceptable. Okay. So the first problem tonight, if you will pause and read through the question, try to work it out, and then come back and check for the answer. Remember to read the problem carefully, underline any words that are important, that have importance in the mathematical part of the question. Okay, so we have an amusement park has two payment options. Visitors to the park who use Plan A pay a $10 admission fee. Plan A cost is going to be $10 plus $3 for every ride. And let's use X for the number of rides. So you'll multiply the number of rides times $3 to get the total cost and then add it to the 10. Now for Plan B cost, they start off paying $20, but then they only pay $1 per ride. So that's an X. So you can see it starts off that Plan B costs more, but as time goes on, the total cost is going to end up being less because you're only paying $1 per ride. So what is the least number of rides a visitor must go on for Plan B to be less expensive? Okay, so less expensive means less than the Plan A cost. Not less than or equal, less than. So what we're going to do is find out how many rides would make that statement true. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract X from both sides. That's going to give us 20 less than 10 plus 2X. And then we subtract 10 from both sides. And that'll give us 10 less than 2X. Divide by 2 and we end up 5 is less than X, which really means X is greater than 5. So that means the number of rides has to be greater than 5. Can't be equal to 5, so the answer then is going to be 6. That's the least number of rides a visitor must go on in order for Plan B to be less expensive. Let's go on to the next one. If A, B and C, D are the points of intersection of a circle and parabola whose equations are given above, okay, intersection. So we have a circle and then we have a parabola that intersects in two places. So it could be like this, or it could be like this, or like this. We don't know, but it is only going to intersect two places. So let's say that this is the A comma B intersection, C comma D. What that really means, point of intersection means it's solving the system of equations. So we're used to seeing only linear equations, but we can solve them even if they are parabolas or circles. So the first thing we want to do is figure out, am I going to use substitution or elimination? And you could do it either way, but let's say that we want to substitute. If we substitute y up here, then we're going to have to square this whole thing, which means we're going to have to multiply a whole bunch of stuff out. That might be the more complicated way, but it might still work. But let's say we subtract 1 from both of these. That would give us y minus 1 equals x squared. So now we can substitute y minus 1 in place of that x squared. So we have y minus 1 plus y squared equals 5. Notice that this is a quadratic now, which means two solutions, which is what we have here. But we have to get it in the form that's either factorable or we can use the quadratic equation. So we have y squared plus y minus 1, but then we've got to subtract 5 over here to get equal to 0. And now that when we factor, we get y plus 3 times y minus 2 equals 0. So that means y can either equal 3 or y can either equal negative 3 or y can equal positive 2. So let's go back and substitute. We can use either equation. Let's use the first one. So we have x squared plus a negative 3 squared, because we put that in place of y, equals 5. X squared plus 9 equals 5. I think you see that we're going to have a situation here where x squared equals negative 4 cannot give us a real number solution. It would be imaginary. So we can't use that solution. Let's try the other one, the y equals 2. Now we've got y squared plus 2 squared equals 5. And then x squared plus 4, subtract the 4 would give us x squared equals 1. And that means x equals plus or minus 1, because we take the square root plus or minus square root on both sides. So now we have x is plus or minus 1 and y is 2. All right, so let's say that's 1, 2, and negative 1, 2. That's not accurate to what the graph is showing, so what we really have is a parabola that's maybe tilted more this way. But we do know what the solution is. We know what A, B, C, and D are, and they want us to add those together. So we're just going to add 1 plus 2 plus negative 1 plus 2, and that's going to equal 4. So our answer for number 20 is 4. Notice a lot of these problems, they have you solve for A, B, C, and D, but they don't ask you for the value of them. They might ask you for the sum or for a fraction or something else. So you have to really read carefully to know exactly what they're asking for. If you'd like some one-on-one tutoring, you can go to my website at www.maxmathtutoring.com. On that website, you'll see the success stories of my previous students. I have blog posts that you can read, just different articles that might be of interest to you. And then I have a free download, and it's called 5 Strategies for Overcoming Test Anxiety. It's just a little brochure, one page that you can download. All you need to do is register, and then you can get that download. So thanks again for watching, and come back again for another SAT prep video.